strong guys. Shazier, I think that's how you pronounce his name, is a really outstanding linebacker. So it's going to be fun. You know, a lot of people talking about the pass defense, but again, that's what you have full practice for, so you can correct things. So I'm expecting some improvements out there. But again, any game, in any setting, when you have an opportunity to make a play, you got to go out there and take advantage of it, because you don't know how many times they'll present themselves to you.
Tajh, I read somewhere that you admired Troy Smith coming up. Can you tell me a little bit about that? And have you ever kind of maybe sat around since the bowl announcement and wondered what it would have been like if you'd gone to Ohio State?
I reminisced a little bit, but only for a couple minutes. You know, for me, that was one of the more difficult, you know, kind of things to turn down Ohio State. You know, because Troy Smith was my favorite quarterback by far. You know, he wasn't a big guy. You know, but just the way he played the game, you know, his heart, what he brought to the table, you know, his leadership, his energy. You know, he was doubted. I think they had him on scout team for like 3 years or something like that. You know, so just his competitiveness kind of, looking at that from a little kid kind of helped me out and trying to figure out what I wanted to do. So, that is the reason I wear the number. And just the way he threw the ball, he had a terrific game. And, I remember going on a visit and sitting down with Coach Trustin, and he was like, you can wear number 10 if you come here. And I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm sitting there looking at the Heisman Trophy and everything. And it was just a lot for me to take in at the moment. But again, it's something that I'll never forget. He's a player that I'll never forget, man. And, I think that's what makes the game that much sweeter.
That kind of a comparison for you during the recruiting process? Didn't a lot of people, if I recall, kind of make that comparison about you and Troy Smith?
Yeah, most definitely. I think they, and looking at it now, there was a lot of comparisons. And, but for me right now, I don't think I'm really comparable to anybody. I think my game is just a little bit of a different style. But, that was the cool thing about recruiting. Sitting there, looking at the guy who won the Heisman Trophy, everything of that nature. And you're sitting there being like, well, this is what Troy looked like at this age, or this Tajh is kind of similar in this aspect, in this area. So, again, you're going through that as a high school recruit. How sweet is that, man? You go up there, you go into the Woody Hayes Center. I'm talking about when you walk in there, it looks ridiculous in there. I'm talking about there's rings everywhere, there's trophies everywhere, and so just everything from as far as they're a monumental and kind of model program in college football. There's certain schools. There's Ohio State, there's Southern Cal, there's Michigan. You got these programs, and that's what we're trying to get to. So every step that we take on from now, I think we've built ourselves up a little bit, but we're trying to get to that point.
Sounds like you have a lot of respect for them. What would it mean to you to beat these guys?
As your last game as the Clemson Tiger, man, I think it would be the sweetest thing ever. So we're going to put our best foot forward. We've had some of our best practices these past week, and I'm excited for the matchup.
How about if you and Roderick McDowell wouldn't have struck up your friendship in San Antonio, do you think you would have not ended up at Clemson, or how big of an impact did that have?
Probably so, honestly. Because I had no really necessarily interest in Clemson, but getting a chance to meet him and talk to him, he was kind of pushing Clemson. Called the coaches while I was there, and just threw me on the phone. I'm like, I don't know, I didn't know anybody at the time, any of the coaching staff, but he's been a great friend. And just talking about Roderick in general, I haven't been around a more patient person or a better person in general. That guy is the most caring and charismatic guy that I know. He's the definition of perseverance. This guy's Army All-American, could have went to any school. When you're sitting there, you're talking to him, and he waited for 4 years to get the opportunity to start, finish university, and everything that he's done this season has been impressive. The way he carried himself on and off the field, and I just couldn't be more proud of a guy. And looking at what he's dealt with, debating about transferring, debating about this and that, because he can play anywhere in college football, I believe. I think he is one of the best backs in the country. Nobody really knows about him yet because he's only been a 1-year starter, but I think this is another opportunity for him to be known.
Sounds like you
about your admiration going back to Troy Smith, and going into the Woody Hayes Center, being with Coach Russell, and him telling you to wear number 10 and everything that maybe a 17 or 18-year-old would dream of, admiring a player like that.
Right.
How tough was it for you to, A, not commit?
Yeah.
And B, you know, going forward, like what was it about Clemson during that visit that really kind of, I mean, I'm just trying to figure out as a prospect that would be impressionable at the time, what could top that for somebody like you?
Well, see, that's the thing. I think that's kind of the story of it. I was very impressionable at that age. Honestly, I could probably say this. Whoever I had for my last visit, I probably would have went to. It was just one of those things. So, you know.
Clemson had the last one?
Yeah, I almost went to K-State with Bill Snyder for a visit. I almost went to Michigan for a visit. So I don't think I would enjoy that too much. No offense to those guys. You know, it was tough though, because I mean, you're sitting there and you got. I remember on Sunday, I really, people think I was joking about it, but I really didn't know where I was going to go to school at. So, you know, it was tough. You know, I'm sitting there, you know, talking to Terrell Pryor. I didn't know what he was going to do. So I wanted to go somewhere where I had the opportunity to play the earliest and where I had opportunity to grow in every aspect of my life. Not just as a football player, but as a person, spiritually, everything of that nature. And I mean, I felt like I would have got that at Ohio State, but you know, just the relationships that I have built with some of the players there, and you know how warm the reception was when I got there was just something else. So it was. I can definitely feel like it was having some numbers, you know, because I don't think there's been a better place for me to kind of shape who I am, and you know, regardless of how far or how long I play in the, you know, in the NFL or whatever, I feel like Clemson will always be home. I always have a place to go back. And I feel like I can do anything in the world, honestly, because I feel like the way that, you know, Clemson helped me learn how to present myself and communicate with people, I feel like it takes you a long way.
What was it like telling?
Decision for you, obviously, but do you ever think about like the dominoes that could have fallen? Like if you made one 18, 17-year-old kid makes one decision to go one place, like maybe what that would have meant for Ohio State with Braxton Miller and, you know, maybe even Terrell Pryor and who knows what else. I mean, just how much of an impact you had not only on Clemson but by making the decision you did on Ohio State as well?
Well, yeah, I remember him, Coach Tressel specifically saying that, you know, I'll be the only quarterback. I think they had to go and get Kenny Guyton right after I committed to Clemson, and you know, Coach Tressel called me probably like 12 times after I told everybody going to Clemson, because it wasn't signing day yet. I just didn't pick up. I'm not gonna lie to you. So I ain't know what to say. You know, it's like, Coach Tressel, man, like, love you, you're my guy, but I just, you know, what do you say? So if you're watching this, just know I still got love for you, Coach. You know, but you know, it was just I do look at it and kind of wonder, you know, what if this would happen and this would happen. You know, I really like Oregon as well. It's just on the other side of the country. I'm just like, you know, committed to Tennessee, you know, committed to West Virginia. I'm something I was everywhere. Whoever had that last visit is probably where I would have went.
Did you ever commit to Ohio State?
You know, it wasn't official. It was kind of like a real small verbal, like, yeah, Coach, I'm coming. Like, you know, one of those deals, but nothing officially. So, I mean, just watching these guys, Philly Brown and all those guys that I knew from, you know, Tom Savage, who was one of my best friends growing up, and, you know, he was his high school quarterback. I actually heard about Braxton a lot during my visit. And it was like, well, it's this guy that goes to, I think it was Wayne High School or something like that. It's like, you know, he's going to be really good. And I'm saying, but now he's turned out to be a terrific quarterback. And, you know, it's kind of weird to see how it's all shaped out for sure.
Have you paid attention?
Braxton during your visit?
Man, I heard he was like next in line. He talking about, I'm hearing that little restaurants we went to, just some of the players in general. I'm telling you, like, I was hearing like Braxton Miller, and then turns out he was, you know, officially the real deal.
Did that have an impact on you?
No, not at all.
Have you paid attention to how Ohio State's done? I mean, since you've been in college, or?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I keep it, or watch them every game. They got some of the dopest uniforms out there.
Tajh, when looking back, how close were you to leaving school early last year?